everybody. It's Evan Grant from B Magazine's Inside Corner with first repeat guest, Jon Daniels.
Stay on your side of the couch.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
It's good, because Nolan was here last week and decided he would abuse me, so now you can do the same thing. Is there anything else you'd like to get out while I've got you here on the couch?
Too easy pickings.
Easy pickings. All right, well, let's talk about your first place club. I think a lot of people thought, hey, the Rangers get through this little series against Seattle and Anaheim and hold water, tread water. I don't want to say hold water. that maybe you could view them as real. But then the minute you get through that stretch, then you look at Yankees, Red Sox. How do you guys look at where you are in terms of segments of the season?
Well, I think that's the nature of the American League. I mean, every series is big. Every club has a potential to do good things on any given day, and I take the approach that our players are taking, and that is, let's win the game tonight. Let's prepare for tonight, then we'll move on to tomorrow and not look too far ahead. And we're doing the same thing as an organization. I don't think you can look at it as month by month or this road trip or that series. I think it's got to be, hey, are we prepared to go tonight? Are we the best 25? Are we lined up? Does the staff need anything from me? That's how I look at it, and just make sure we're prepared from that standpoint.
All right, the sweep of the Angels was, I think, built on two different things. Obviously, solid starting pitching, which you've gotten for a long time, but I think it's really starting to be apparent you are a much better fielding team than you've been in the last couple of years. Anything in particular besides the adjustments you made on the infield that for you really stands out?
Well, in addition to the infield, I think the catching is markedly improved. I mean, I give Salty a lot of credit for the work he's put in behind the plate. Taylor as well, Jackie Moore, Scott Service, the guy that worked with these guys, have done a tremendous job. And this is a message, something that Ron's really been pounding home to these guys for a couple of years now. And I think with the moves we made this off season, not just with Mike and Elvis, but also with Chris, I think we have a chance to be plus at all four spots around the diamond, potentially behind the plate as well. And as we looked at it this offseason and said, hey, within our means, what's the best way and quickest way to improve the club, it was pretty clear that defensively was the way to go.
And we talked a little bit about this during the winter, but you had your approach was we can improve the pitching by improving the defense. That's a little bit about why you decided you were going to make those two moves on the left side of the infield. Are you seeing the correlation? Is there one there?
Without a doubt. I mean, it's the oldest cliche in the book, pitching and defense, and it's, which comes first, chicken or the egg, success or confidence. I mean, you can't really point to one without the other. And I mean, it's every night. It's the plays being made that were not necessarily made the year before, or not just the 1 year, probably 5-10 years previously. How many pitches did it save that pitcher that inning? How many innings does it allow that starting pitcher to stay in? How much does it allow us not to expose the bullpen? So it's tied hand in hand, and it's had a pretty big effect so far.
All right, you've got the nucleus of your club now has been together for several years. How much of a part do you think that plays in what to me appears to be very good chemistry? But again, that's one of those chicken and the egg things. Do you have great chemistry before you win, or do you have great chemistry only after you win? But it looks like your team is very tight-knit, and I credit the fact that your nucleus, Bird, Kinsler, and Young, have been here for 3 years now together.
Yeah, and from that standpoint, I actually think the chemistry came before, this early season success that we've had so far. And I'm specifically saying early season success. We're certainly not, counting chickens or anything like that. And we've got a long way to go. I think there's a lot of, May flavors of the month that are, scattered on the side of the road. And so we want to make sure we don't become one of them. But I do think that the chemistry came first. These guys mostly played together last year. There isn't a ton of turnover. We brought in some character veteran guys that have been there and done that to kind of help it along. We promoted some of our kids. But really the design behind the club, especially on the position player side, is this club's relatively set for the next few years. Now we've got some veteran guys that can be free agents, but those decisions will be down the line. For the most part, this core team is going to be back year after year after year. We've got 4, 5, 6 years of control over most of the guys here, and that's a very good thing. And I think as you see a lot of these successful clubs, they play together for a long period of time. They know each other. They can. There's a timing. There's an expectation amongst each one, and I think we're there on the position player side. We're getting there on the pitching side now.
Do you think you're a year ahead of schedule?
I don't really know how to answer that. I'll tell you in October.
Very coy, Jon Daniels. All right, now before we leave, I want to make sure and be the first person on record to ask this: you shopping for any frontline starters for the stretch run?
Let's see how we do here. Right now our starting rotation. I want to let's give these guys a little bit of respect. You know, everyone's wondering who we're going to get to replace them, but you know, right now they're doing a pretty good job. And so let's let these guys get off. We've got some internal guys that will probably get opportunities first. Of course, you're always looking for ways to improve the club, and I'll be open to that. But let's let this club continue to play the way they are.
You'd be content if Derek Collin pitches in the bullpen all year?
50-50. I mean, no, from a development side, we would like him to get innings in the rotation, also because I think he can help us there, and it's important for the organization going forward that he's prepared to start for us going down the line. The flip side of it is if we have one of those years where the starters pitch consistently deep in the games and there's no obvious candidates come out of the rotation, Derek's helping us win games in the bullpen. It's a don't fix it if it's not broken situation. But I would expect, just the history of the game, at some point we're going to have a hiccup, we're going to have an issue in the rotation, and Derek's a guy that we expect to start for us down the line, and he can use that experience, and we think he can help us win games.
And is it fair to ask if he'd be the first option if you needed a starter at this point?
Likely would, but I think it's going to depend on how the opening comes about, where we are, who's pitching and what roles.
All right, John, I appreciate you stopping by, and
Thank you, sir.
get off my couch, man.
Yeah. Just stay over there.